The
you know,
warm ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they also, I don't know, they like I'm a big pet peeve on kids not taping their shin guards. I think it looks. I'm like, my God, please tape your shin guards. You're killing me. But just better. Like they just
Yeah.
hold there, and they are more protective. But the socks that we've got with Warroad are, I probably have like 7 or 8 goalies working under me now, like just that do some stuff with me. And I have them all in the cut resistant socks, every one of them, because it goes up past the calf.
Yeah.
And so it goes calf to heel, and it just who knows? I mean, you got to find something that's comfortable too, right? So.
Well, the one that gets me in it, I like it's mandatory to our association to wear a helmet, right? And they had trouble enforcing it for a while, and then they had this challenge where, like, from a Hockey Canada insurance perspective, obviously all the bench staff had to wear them, but then they'd bring in people like me as a skills instructor, and in theory we didn't have to wear them. So, like, based on Hockey Canada's insurance, we were supposed to have our own insurance, and some of the skills instructors like would not wear them. And so finally our association was like, well, you can't be a skills instructor with our teams unless you wear a helmet. And so what they ended up doing, and it sounds similar here, is if you don't wear it, like, the head coach gets suspended. What they started doing as well with neck guards is if you don't enforce neck guards at practice and somebody from the association sees that, they suspend the head coach.
Yeah.
Which I like, and I've never.
So somebody has to be the police out there. Like I'm a big guy down. I'm a kind of a rule follower anyway, just by nature. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't like the rule, then let's just go to the state meetings and the county meetings and the country meetings, and let's fight the rule. And if it's a shitty rule, then let's get it changed. But the rule's in place. All the kids know it. All the parents know it. It's my job. Like and actually in practice, and I'm trying to get some better studies, but the amount of times kids are at risk in practice have to be 10 to 12 times more than in a game, because especially the repetition part. Like if you're doing rep drills and you're like, okay, well, now I'm replicating something that could happen in a game over and over and over and over again. This is actually the time where you might actually get, like, that's why I hate when I see kids that are injured and they come out to skate and they just want to be out there with their helmet and their sweatsuits on. I'm like, get your gear on. I said, now you have more of a chance of getting hurt, with something else.
Well, it's interesting what you said about, coaches avoiding collisions with little players, right? Because I've mostly been working with junior and midget kids, and then the last couple of years, doing much younger, like U9, U11. And I had a coach on with me, actually, MJ, who's been on these calls before. So she and I worked together like 2010, 2009, like she was my head instructor. And she just got back on the ice with me this year. And she's doing camps with me, these young kids. And she's like, Kim, you're so good at knowing when they're about to run into you. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she's like, it's amazing how many times, like, you almost die, but somehow you have an eye in the back of your head. It's funny because I've run, I don't even know, millions of hours of skill skates. So I just have this, but it's funny because if you ask me to ref, like, I would get run over in an instant. Like, I don't know how to drop the puck or like get out of the way, but it's an important skill. And I think, I'll be honest, I don't always wear a helmet when I'm doing my total female hockey stuff. I should, technically I don't have to. But I watched Team USA, Team Canada practice before the rivalry series in Kingston, and none of the coaches had helmets on. Now, and they show pictures of them coaching without helmets on, and I see, coaches in my organ.
Like, especially in the US here, it's a U18 is all helmets. Like, you have to have helmets on, right? And our national team coaches are in there on Twitter, and I always jab my guys at the USA hockey side. Like, well, I said, how do you expect to be examples? And then you can't go suspend a coach when our own staff doesn't do it. And if it's not a real rule, I don't listen. I'd much rather wear a nice beanie, nice and warm, have my logo on it, than wear a helmet. So then don't have the rule. But I don't know. It's just
and again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, because again, like with my association, I wear it all the time when I get out there with my own stuff, especially the 7 a.m.ers when the only other person in the rink's the Zamboni driver, nobody's watching. But Yeah, and again, they're not even necessarily policing. There's a coach in our organization. He played, NCAA and all that. Good guy with dad of one of the girls. He wears like it looks like an old Gretzky helmet, but he said he
Yeah.
ordered it like it has no padding, like it's just a piece of plastic
Yeah,
that's sort of.
DR makes a helmet that's just, it looks like a helmet, but it's no way
Yeah,
really
yeah. But
protecting
that's
you.
what he
It's
wears.
kind of there. But somebody
So,
I've often, I work with the guys at True. I said, listen, you want to make a lot of money? Come out with a coaching helmet. Come out with something that looks like a baseball cap that feels like a hat, but protects like a helmet, almost like a batter helmet. You could find something. Guys would wear it because they just hate the helmet so much. I mean, maybe it feels. I don't know why. Like, I think I just do it now. Like, I just wear mine because it's habit. And it's in my bag, put it on, go on the ice. But I could see why it's like everything else. And as the game evolves, it's like, okay, well, you just throw your helmet on. You're part of the coaching staff. You're part of the kids on the ice. It's a rule. Like, I get crazy with the rule stuff. If it's a rule, it's a rule. If it's not a rule, then who cares? Do whatever you want. But if we're going to tell a kid these are rules, but I'm not going to follow mine because I don't need to, because I played college hockey, then I don't know. But
well, the
just
true ones.
Tom was mentioning getting hit, just in a game, but I see these guys up in practice. It's like the likelihood of getting a puck to the head or a stick to the head in a drill or getting knocked over by even an older kid is probably much more likely than you would if if you're standing on the bench right in a game. So.
Well, I laughed my first
my therapy
ever.
department.
So,
My therapy, they allow players come back from injury. They say, go on the ice, but don't wear your equipment. They're afraid. They say, well, we're afraid they'll get in the drills. And I'm saying, I don't want them on the ice without equipment on. Because like we're talking about, they're kind of closer to there and they're standing and get hit with pucks and all that. But,
And
I'm breaking their rules if I have the
hopefully
kids
they end
put
up
their gear on.
And they end up jumping. And I'm like, guys, you're standing here next to me. You have no equipment on. And like, even with the little kids, I wear these MMA shin guards because they're really thin, but they keep me from getting a little wax, so I can get in there with the little guys and help out a little bit. But it's funny how these you watch the kids like, oh, I got a hurt thumb, and then they go out there with just their sweat clothes on, and then they fell on their knee, and now they're out for another 3 weeks, so they just hurt their knee.
Well, I remember the first ever skill session I ran with Total Female Hockey, like literally the first camp I ever ran. I was wearing a little orange hat. I still have a little orange Nike hat. And I'm standing in the corner and some kid takes one, rips one off the crossbar, hits me in the front of the head. And I had a black mark on the front of my head. And it didn't hurt, it just hit in such a way. And of course I had to play it cool. And I still have the hat with the black mark.
Yeah.
And I wear it around sometimes and I tell the story of the little thing. But yeah, of course, like I said, I point fingers and go, oh, you should wear this thing. The True helmets are really comfortable, actually. I got a bunch of free True stuff.
I got this helmet here has to be it literally, it almost feels like you're not wearing it.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
The Mepsis.
And the nice thing, now, like I got a bunch of stickers made for Total Female Hockey from this. You guys might have seen it. The Flooded Customs guy. He's an American guy down in, I think he's out of Florida. And I got the whole back of my skates wrapped with my logo. And
oh yeah.
Sent me a bunch